Worldview Radio with Brannon House.
All right, guys, welcome back here on this July 16th, 2025. We are going to be joined by our reporter on the ground in Israel, because I was texting last night with Aaron. I was texting with Hadia, depending on how you say it. And I was seeing some videos that were very disturbing to me of some folks in the Middle East that look like they're in Syria, having their beards and mustaches cut off. They were bleeding. They were bleeding from the face. I'm like, whoa, what is this? It looked very demoralizing, humiliating to them. Scary, to be honest with you, because I wasn't sure some of them weren't on the verge about to be killed, and I think some of them actually were killed. According to one report, one of the guys they did this to, they killed him. They assassinated him after they put him through this treatment. So here's the question. Who were these people doing this? Is this ISIS? Is this Al-Qaeda? Is this the military of the president of Syria? And are these Druze, D-R-U-Z, Druze in Syria that are being put through this? Now, there are reports out today. We have the videos, by the way, to show it, where there's been a lot of bombing going on today. And it looks like Israel has struck a major building in Damascus. In fact, we even have the screen. We have the video footage of it, Logan, if we want to show that. The TV side. But this was no small situation here. There you go. That's the audio of the people on the ground. And I think this was like a major military installation in Damascus. And for the radio audience, it would look something like a typical office building, large office building in the U.S. And it was obviously strategically targeted. There are news reporters around it, some who had it behind them when it started exploding, and they ran off camera. Others just turned their back to the camera with their helmets and their flak jackets on. And started talking about it. So where is all this going? What's happening? And is it true that the Trump administration has been tried to convince the Netanyahu administration not to do this? I think I'm personally siding with the Netanyahu administration on this one, based on the videos I'm seeing. But let's see what our expert on the ground, our reporter brought to you by our foundation, worldviewfoundation.com, helps to send him regular love offerings to keep him there reporting for us. Worldviewfoundation.com, brought to you as a public service and ministry broadcast of our foundation. Aaron Lavarco. Aaron, welcome back to the broadcast. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Brendan. Great to be with you.
You too, my friend. Okay, so last night I think I sent you some videos, and I sent them over to Hadia as well. And what I was seeing were videos of guys having their beards shaved off, their mustaches shaved off, and some of it looked pretty brutal. They're bleeding from the face, and I was a little concerned that some of these guys were right on the verge, after being humiliated, of being assassinated. I read that one of them may indeed have been assassinated. This is going on in Syria, correct?
Correct, Brennan. And what is...
And these are Druze. Are these Druze?
They are Druze. 3% of the Syrian population are Druze. Druze are an offshoot of Islam from the 12th century. And there are Druze living in Syria, and there are Druze living in Israel. We have about 80,000 Druze living in Israel. Some of the Druze living in Israel are related to some of the Druze living in Syria. And let me explain, we're talking about literally 10, 20, 30 miles apart from each other. And the Druze living in Syria are one of the small ethnic minority groups in Syria, along with the Kurds and other groups, Christians. But Brannon, we are seeing the true face, the true nature of the new Syrian president, the one that wears a tie, the one that was shaking hands with Donald Trump, the one that was about to step up and say, we are going to be part of the Abraham peace accords with Israel. This same leader, Brannon, who had a $10 million bounty over his head, which now Donald Trump has taken off. They are no longer looked upon as a terror organization. Brannon, we are now seeing their true nature. And I was just watching an hour ago a Druze from Israel, a man crying, screaming, saying that the number of dead are now in the hundreds. And he was saying, Israel, do not forget October the 7th. Your people were attacked. Your people were murdered. Your women were raped. Your people were taken captive. The same thing is happening to us. And God forbid that we should not let, or rather we should not help the Druze. And we are helping the Druze. We are helping them.
All right, now let's just make sure the audience understands. The Druze, these would be, correct me if I'm wrong, these would be non-violent, there's various branches of Islam. This is a branch that would be non-violent. They would not be involved in jihad and murdering people. Is that a true statement or not?
That is very correct, but they have weapons. They have their own defense, just like Israel. We are the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces. We are a democracy. We are not going looking to cause trouble. But if people attack us, we will defend ourselves. And the Druze are the same. They are peace-loving people. And by the way, they are not Muslims. They are an offshoot of Islam. They're a mixed religion. They believe in all the major prophets from Abraham, Moses, David, Jethro. The father-in-law of Moses is their number one prophet. He was the priest of Midian. And they claim to be descendants of the Midianites. They also follow a lot of the traditions of Islam and Judaism, but they are their own religion. They're a little secretive. They believe in reincarnation. And as I say, it's a very much a mixture of a religion, a little bit of Judaism, a little bit of Christianity, and a little bit of Islam. Be that as it may, they are peaceful and loyal to whichever country they are living in, including Syria, including Lebanon, and including Israel. There's only about 3.5 million maximum Druze in the world. And we have, as I said, about 80,000 living within our borders. Some of them serve in our army. We had an ex-general who was a Druze. They're very, very loyal, and we are helping them. And I'm so glad, so proud of our government and our defense forces who are in there helping them, and they need help. They are being slaughtered by these ISIS and Al-Qaeda operatives. Let's not forget Jolani, the leader of Syria, the president of Syria, who's wearing a suit and tie. He was in ISIS and he was in Al-Qaeda. Now, Brannon, I believe the big question is 5 minutes ago, or, a week or two ago, he was almost signing the Abraham peace accords with America.
Well,
with
wasn't
Israel.
he supposed to be coming to the White House?
Yes.
We had reports he was going to go to the White House with Benjamin Netanyahu in the coming weeks.
Absolutely. So is the guy stupid? Is he playing all of his cards? He knows very well that we look after the Druze and the Druze look after us. He knows that. So either he is stupid or, and this is my guess, someone has been whispering in his ear, Jolani, if you make peace with Israel and the United States, you're going to either pay a price or your supplies are going to get stopped, because by signing peace with Israel and the United States, that's a big paycheck he's going to get. It's going to bring in billions for Syria. So that's what I'm saying. Either he's stupid or people are whispering in his ear not to do it. And you know who?
And who would that be?
Well, that's the big question. And I'm only guessing. My first thought is it could be ISIS themselves, for which he was an affiliate, or it could be Al-Qaeda. But I was listening about half an hour ago to a talk show host, not long ago, a group living in Syria called the PKK, who are a kind of like the Druze, like the Christians. They're an independent group. They surrendered very recently, not to Syria, but to Turkey. And this was a great victory for Turkey, because now Turkey have got people living in Syria who are now submitted to the Turks. And I'm guessing, I could be totally wrong. I'm wondering, I'm guessing, I don't know. It could be the Turks that may have been whispering in the ears of Jolani, don't do this. Because as I say, he knows what's at stake either way. If he fights the Druze, he knows he's fighting Israel. And Brandon, have you been hearing? Israel has been pounding. You reported that building that was destroyed. That was the equivalent of the Pentagon. That was a defense.
I thought it was.
Yeah, that's the defense ministry building. We are pounding not just Syria, but Damascus. And I wonder, is
Isaiah 17?
Isaiah 17. Is Isaiah 17 in our midst, about to happen? I don't know. But it is serious.
And by the way, just so I don't get emails from some in the audience, some theologians believe that's already occurred, like Dr. Woods. Others believe it hasn't. So we'll see where it goes. But I thought the same thing today. By the way, we have video footage here. This is a regular Syrian army guy that I'm playing a video of, listening friends. But on his uniform is the ISIS logo. Okay? On his uniform is the ISIS logo. Why would we be making agreements, taking ISIS, Al-Qaeda, these guys off the terror list? Remember when Hedia last week, or a couple weeks ago when this happened, couldn't believe it. Annie couldn't believe it. Aaron couldn't believe it. A lot of our experts on the Middle East and Israel couldn't believe it. And this is why many were very, very sick to their stomach to see President Trump shaking the leader of Syria's hand and talking so nice about him. We come back, we'll get into this more, where this could go. Don't go away, we'll be right back.
News is moving faster than ever, and so are we. Worldview Tube brings you 24/7 live stream coverage and now real-time alerts when it matters most. Once you have the Worldview Tube app installed, exit the app and navigate your way to Settings. In Settings, locate the tab labeled Notifications. Select the Notifications tab. Scroll down until you locate the Worldview Tube app icon. Select the tab, and here you can turn on and customize your notification experience for the Worldview Tube app. News doesn't wait, and neither should you. Turn on push notifications to stay informed. Every headline as it happens.
You're watching Worldview 2, built on the 35 years of Worldview books, documentaries, research, high-profile interviews, and the radio and television broadcasts of Brannon House.
All right, welcome back. Glad you're with us. Worldview Radio, our website, worldviewradio.com, worldviewradio.com. Aaron, our reporter on the ground in Israel, again, brought to you by our foundation, worldviewfoundation.com. Aaron is also going to various sites, and he'll be on Brandon House Live tonight. He's gone to various sites, and he's recording for us. You know, he's a licensed tour guide in Israel. In fact, by the way, Dr. Lindstedt asked for his phone number today. Aaron's hearing this for the first time. Because he said, I think I might want to use him as a tour guide.
We talked. He called me.
What? Oh, you do know this then. All right. Well, he asked me for your phone number. He said, I think I might want to use him as a tour guide. I said, yeah, please, just don't take him away so I can't get a hold of him, you know. But yeah, go ahead. So there you go. I'm glad to see you guys working together. So you might lead one of Dr. Rob Lindstedt's tours, huh, Aaron?
Absolutely. He gave me the dates. I looked in my calendar, and it's all good to go.
Look at that. Awesome. That's good. All right. Well, he is a licensed tour guide, as you guys know. And we've asked him to please go to various sites and do little short documentaries for us that we can use on our history channel, our brand new history channel, and use on our brand new Bible prophecy channel, depending on which special we're talking about. Oh, by the way, did you not know about that? Yeah, we got worldviewtube.com, which is 24/7. But then we just added worldviewtube.com/history. There's a history channel. And worldviewtube.com/prophecy. That's our Bible prophecy channel. Of course, we have our health channel, worldviewtube.com/health. That's our health channel. We call it our health and home channel. But Aaron just sent over, but Aaron's going to show us tonight. We're going to do this for tonight, Brandon House Live. Aaron, what is it, by the way, if we get back to our topic, what is it you just sent us? You were filming at looked like a 2,000-year-old Roman Colosseum. Is that right?
Yeah, it's the ancient city of Caesarea. Not Caesarea Philippi, Caesarea Maritima. That was the city that King Herod built, that we read about Peter, Cornelius, Paul, Pontius Pilate, Rabbi Akiva, Eusebius, Tertullian, Oregon church fathers, the Crusaders, the Muslims, 2,000 years of incredible history, archaeology, and I was able to tie up 2,000 years in only 20 minutes.
Wow. We're going to get into that tonight on Brandon House Live. All right, let's go back. I showed on the screen, this is a regular Syrian soldier in the Syrian army wearing an ISIS logo. Now, this is who we are trying to make a partnership with, which is why so many people were left scratching their heads. Correct me if I'm wrong, Aaron. What I'm hearing in you today when you talk about what President Trump's administration is doing with the leader of Syria, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm hearing a little bit more of, I don't want to say the word, maybe the word irritation or grave concern. When you just talk about this, I'm hearing a little bit, I'm picking up on a little bit in your voice that this has really concerned you. This, what appears to be a major foreign policy misstep by the Trump administration. True or false?
Looking back in hindsight and knowing Donald Trump, he's not stupid. He knew that Giuliani had a $10 million bounty on his head. He's not stupid. He's made statements like, you know, we can always give someone a second chance. I don't believe he was sideswiped. I believe he knew very well. But here's the thing. Giuliani's blown it. Now will be the test. If Donald Trump continues to try and make peace with him, that will be massive. People here in Israel and the Druze living in Israel and the Druze living in Syria, they are asking for Trump to give a strong condemnation. Until now, it's only been a very light condemnation. He needs to come in. Now, it's still early, but like I quoted, Brandon, if you could have seen this Druze man weeping, crying, it was, for them, it's their October the 7th. They're getting slaughtered. They're getting raped. They're getting kidnapped. They're crying out to Israel for help. And like I said, I'm so proud and happy. We are helping them. We will not forsake them. That's what Bibi Netanyahu said. He said, we will not forsake our Druze brothers. And he speaks to the sheikhs, the leaders of the community, and our defense minister has said the same. We will not abandon you. Thank God for people like this. So we are helping them, but we are more than that. This is a war. People from Syria were trying to break through our borders. Hundreds of Druze broke through the Syrian border to try and go and help their Druze brothers and sisters in Syria. This is a full-scale war now.
Let me show you a video. This is
now, Brandon,
one of the videos I saw.
This is a full-scale war with Syria, by the way.
This is one of the videos I saw that I found very disturbing. And it is an older man with a white beard. And one of these ISIS soldiers has his hand on his head as he roughly, and without any shaving cream or anything, shaves this man's beard off. And then I understand this is a Druze leader. And I understand after this happened, they assassinated him. Aaron, is that true?
It is true. 80-year-old sheikh leader murdered, humiliated, and murdered. And these are, I'm telling you, they're the same nature as Hamas, as ISIS. We know all about ISIS, and this was a concern. And I brought this up straight after Jolani overthrew Assad. This is one of the first things I brought up. In Syria, there are thousands and thousands of ISIS prisoners under the leadership of the Kurds. The Kurds that live in Syria, they are controlling the prisons that have ISIS soldiers or terrorists inside of their prisons. So this is a very, very dangerous situation. Our Air Force are pounding. And the quote that I read earlier, Israel has taken off her gloves. So expect this. And there's been a few talks of ceasefires, but it hasn't happened.
All right. So what we've got here is now this coming in. The Druze medical team in the hospital, a few hours before the massacre, they have names, family stories, and they were all slaughtered. The Druze medical team. What do you know of this, Aaron?
Look at them. They are not troublemakers. They don't have weapons in their hands. They are serving the community, probably serving Syrian soldiers, Jolani soldiers. What a waste. What animalistic people. And this is the nature. This is that spirit that, I was listening to something very interesting, Brandon. And the person that was talking was differentiating the difference between a Muslim who is a nationalist and a Muslim who is a jihadist. A Muslim who is a nationalist is proud of his country, wants to defend his country, and wants to build up his country. That's one camp. But a jihadist is a totally different natured person. And this is what we're seeing with Hamas. This is what we're seeing with ISIS. This is what we're seeing with this group, HTS, Jolani's group. And we need to pray that Trump's eyes are totally opened and that he does a 360 U-turn and, he calls a spade and he doesn't mince. But I respect Trump that he doesn't rush in. He doesn't act hastily. He weighs up. I respect him for that. And so far in general, apart from, not finishing off the Ayatollahs in Iran, although from what I'm hearing, Brandon, those meetings between him and Bibi and all the delegations from both sides, from what I'm hearing, Brennan, the two main issues that they were talking about, one was the Abraham Peace Accords, but number two is what people are calling round two. They're getting ready for round two with Iran because it hasn't gone away. It's like the analogy of like weeds growing in a garden. You cut them down, and as soon as you start to see them grow back, you have to cut them down again. That's what I've been hearing.
Here we go. Sarah Adams, the former CIA gal that we follow on social media. She says today, why is the U.S. Secretary of State upset that someone targeted an al-Qaeda commander? He was literally on our target deck 6 months ago. This kind of unhinged al-Qaeda appeasement isn't just reckless. It's going to get lots of Americans killed. Now remember, folks, and Aaron, she and other intel experts are saying that al-Qaeda has invisible bombs, and they're planning a massive, way bigger than 9/11 terrorist attack on America, and they believe it's coming in 2025. That's their analysis. And so she's saying this is reckless. It's worse than that. It isn't just reckless. It's going to get lots of Americans killed. I don't know what's going on, Aaron. And I try to speak truth. I try to give my analysis. I want President Trump to succeed. I want America to succeed. But I'm seeing a lot of things right now that really cause me to question what's happening, but also to question if America and its leaders have not reached a tipping point. If America and its leaders have not humbled themselves under the mighty hand of God, if America's leaders all the way at the top are giving symbolism and nice slogans, but in reality are not being humble, that there's too much arrogance and pride. And as a result, God is not, he knows the heart, right? He knows our hearts. Man looks on the outward appearance. God looks on the heart. And I got a text from a very, very well-known Bible teacher the other night. Very well-known. Almost everyone that's listening to this broadcast that are regulars, long-term listeners, committed Bible-believing Christians would know his name. And he expressed the exact same sentiment. Is God tired of the boasting and the arrogance? And that's my concern. And that's something we all, my friends, all of us, the host included, have always got to be mindful of. The Lord is the one that gives us the breath. All promotion comes from the Lord. We have to always be careful because pride cometh before the fall. We'll be right back.
Introducing the Sentry Wellness System, the ultimate undersink water treatment solution designed with you in mind. Say goodbye to harmful toxins and hello to water enriched with essential nutrients like calcium and magnesium. Enjoy the benefits of increased pH for on-demand alkalinity, all from a zero-waste system that fits seamlessly into your home. Installation is a breeze, taking just 15 minutes, so you can have clean, healthy, great-tasting water straight from your tap. Perfect for apartments, homes, rentals, and even RVs. Elevate your hydration and well-being with the Sentry Wellness System because you deserve the best in every drop.
Sentry H2O. Tap into wellness.
You're watching Worldview 2, built on the 35 years of Worldview books, documentaries, research, high-profile interviews, and the radio and television broadcasts of Brannon House.
All right, welcome back. Glad you're with us. Worldview Radio, our website, worldviewradio.com. I'm going to open the phone lines here in just one moment. But before we do, I want to have Aaron. Aaron, would you respond to my comments earlier, right before the break there? Myself, and then, like I said, a very, very well-known Bible teacher texted me on his own. We text back and forth. And he expressed in his text the same thing I was thinking in my heart. And I said, I have to agree with you. You're speaking what's in my heart. I'm afraid that if America is to be preserved, we have to have a lot more humility and a lot more, less boasting and acknowledgement of the Lord. And I'm very concerned for my country at all levels, local, state, federal, because we know that at this point in our nation, only God can save us. This is so out of control. The deep state's so deep in our country that it would be only God who providentially can allow us to put things back to where they should be, where our nation is a free nation, and not in just appearance, but in reality. You know, righteousness exalts a nation, the Bible says, sins a reproach thereof. What are your thoughts about what I'm saying? How I'm concerned about the lack of humility coming from many, many of our nation's leaders, which I think is an offense to God. Your thoughts?
Yeah, you know, hearing Donald Trump say, God, I love you, acknowledging the Lord, that's a good step forward. You know, he needs to take it a few more steps forward. He can't just stop there. If he wants to make America great again, he has to put God first. No question about it. He can put God in the back seat and try to make America great again, and it's not going to work. My concern is, and it's what I said before, Brannon, there are Muslims and Muslims. There are Muslims who are concerned about nationalism, and there are Muslims who are concerned about jihadism. The nations that are making peace with Israel, Brannon, I believe they are nations that want their country to live at peace with Israel and be peaceful nations, and they're nationalistic. But the people who are in the borders of the United States, they are not nationalistic Muslims. They are jihadist Muslims. And Donald Trump needs to recognize that, and he needs to do something about it, and he needs to recognize this guy Giuliani and his true nature, but he needs to ask the Lord for help here. Now, can I just say, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, Mike Huckabee is a key man in this. Did you hear that what he did in Israel today, Brannon?
No, I did not.
Bibi Netanyahu is still on trial for corruption and bribery and things like that. He turned up at the courts, and guess who turned up? Mike Huckabee turned up to Bibi's trial, one of Bibi's trials.
Wow.
And he said, this is unprecedented. No foreigner, let alone the the American ambassador to Israel, they don't do that. But Mike Huckabee, and he said, I've just come to show support for Bibi. The press here, they cannot believe it. So, but going back to what I said, Mike Huckabee, we know he's not just a believer by name. He is a true believer. He's a spiritual man. He knows God's promises. He knows the promises of Israel and the borders. He's a Zionist, a biblical Zionist. He's a key man. So we need to pray for him that somehow he will get in the ears of Donald Trump and make an influence. This could be a pivotal turning point, not just for Trump, but for America. And I'm not saying that lightly. It could well be.
Amen. So here we have video footage Syrian government jihadists have massacred the entire staff there at the Sweda National Hospital. Druze and Christian patients, listen folks, Druze and Christian patients, doctors, nurses, women, children, and everyone taking shelter inside. I'm speechless. This is genocide. And the video is scrambled because it is so violent. People laying dead all over the hospital, down the hallways, the blood on the walls, the blood on the floors, murdered by ISIS, Al-Qaeda. And these are some of the same people. I mean, the floors in some part are just almost completely red. These are people that have been taken off the list, the terror list, right? Here in America, Aaron, is that right?
Yeah, correct. Hey, Brandon, where are the pro-Palestinian? Where are the anti-Israel haters who call us genociders, who call us murderers? Why aren't they out there condemning Jolani and HTS? Where are the United Nations? Where are they? This massacre, this is a genocide. They're not to be seen. They're running away. Shame on them.
1-800-347-9829. 1-800-347-9829. Your thoughts, your comments, your questions. 1-800-347-9829. We're going to get on board with your thoughts. Here we have video footage coming in now. Israel releases new videos of its Air Force striking armored vehicles of the Syrian army driving toward Druze areas in southern Syria. Israel's doing everything they can to stop this slaughter. I don't understand why the Trump administration would be asking them to hold back, Donald. Aaron, why?
Well, again, I think Donald Trump did not realize what was fully going on, the massacres, the slaughtering, number one. Sometimes it takes a while to filter through the media. Number two, again, he was on the verge of making peace with Syria. So this is probably why he did not understand the severity of the situation. And Bibi made it very clear, I'm sorry, we have to do what we have to do. We have to look after our brothers. And this is not a matter of wanting brownie points or wanting to look good in the eyes of the international community. These are our brothers. These are our neighbors. We have a duty. We have a responsibility. This is human decency. This is the Good Samaritan. This is, who is my neighbor? Who is my neighbor? That was the question. Who is my neighbor? Right now, the Druze, they are our neighbors. They are not doing anything wrong. They don't deserve any of this. This is October the 7th happening all over again.
And it's coming to America. And that's what many in the intel community are warning. 1-800-347-9829. Mary Jean, line one. Mary Jean in West Virginia. Thanks for calling in, Mary Jean.
Well, thank you for taking my call. I heard the comment that he made earlier about Isaiah chapter 17, and Damascus has not been recorded as ever having been completely demolished. So I really believe, in fact, not too long ago, even Jack Hibbs on his preaching had brought up Damascus, and he was expecting to wake up one morning and hear that it was totally destroyed. So anyway, I question as to whether that has already happened. And another statement that was made about a combination of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. I know in the city of Dubai there is I don't know what you want to, a kind of an idol arrangement of those three religions in one special area. And sometime back, years really, the American Baptists were trying to incorporate a cross that's broken in half Christianity and half Islam, and I chose not to support that particular kind of combination. So I just wanted to make a comment on that. Perhaps this gentleman might make a little outreach on that.
Thank you, Mary Jean. Quick response, Aaron, because our phone lines are lit up. Thank you, Mary Jean. Go.
Yeah, very briefly. Yeah, we here in Israel, we don't follow their religion. We don't, Orthodox Jews and Christians, they would not agree with their religion. But as human beings, we're a democracy here, as human beings, as fellow citizens, like I was quoting the Good Samaritan, who is my neighbor, we respect them. They live in our borders. We have an obligation to look after our citizens, whether they're Muslims. And by the way, on October the 7th, there were Muslims that were slaughtered as well. So, we don't agree with their religion, but we love and respect them as Israeli citizens.
Mm-hmm. And can I just say, without people getting angry with me, because it's not me, I'm just telling what the Bible says. So don't get mad at me. 2 Corinthians 6:14 through 17 says we cannot mix the things of God with the things of Baal. And it says don't enter into spiritual enterprises with false teachers. And if you don't do this, I will bless you. It says I will welcome you. Another translation is I will bless you. If America and its leaders want to be blessed of God and want their decisions to be blessed of God, they cannot unite with false teachers. And I have to wonder if God is not being welcoming and blessing the Trump administration because they have hooked their wagon to so many false teachers, Paula White being one of them. We are putting people who, according to numerous reports, have ties to jihadis and spent years in prison with their ties to jihadis, being put on different committees and faith committees. So you cannot unite with false teachers and think God's going to welcome you or bless you, right? And I'm very concerned about people like Paula White and others that have gotten into this administration. And I have to wonder if this isn't part of the reason why we're seeing some of the chaos and confusion and problems we're seeing. I'm just asking questions and quoting the Bible. Don't get mad at me. Let's go to Samuel, line 4. Well, we'll do that when we come back. Samuel, line 4, then Robert, 1-800-347-9829 is the number, 1-800-347-9829. And again, VCY America Crosstalk with Jim Schneider comes up top of the hour at vcy.org, vcy.org. Hey, don't forget we have our fall conference coming up, the 22nd annual Worldview Conference. We moved it to the Mid-South this year, and we've lowered the price of the tickets drastically because we're saving money, so we're going to lower the price. So you can find full details at worldviewstore.com, worldviewstore.com. We'll be right back.
You woke up with a sore throat and a low-grade fever. You know you are getting sick, so here's your choices. You can get sicker and miss work, try to see a doctor this week, or sit hours in a crowded waiting room at urgent care.
I have a smarter option for you. Open your medical emergency kit. Match your symptoms to doctor-recommended prescription in your booklet and take the right meds now and get well faster.
This is not a first aid kit. It's like having an urgent care in your home. It includes doctor-prescribed medications to treat over 39 medical issues like respiratory infections, strep throat, pneumonia, UTIs, and more.
No waiting to see the doctor and no standing in line at the pharmacy. It's right here.
Every home should have at least one medical emergency kit, and here's how to order.
Go to worldviewhealthcare.com. Your kit to treat dozens of common and serious illnesses is rushed to your door. worldviewhealthcare.com. That's worldviewhealthcare.com.
The emergency kit available at worldviewhealthcare.com. Make sure you don't have to go to urgent care. I got pneumonia. I didn't have to go. I took this last year. Stayed at home, went to bed. All right, let's go back to our phone lines. 1-800-347-9829. Let's go to Samuel, line 4. Hi, Samuel. Thank you for calling in, Samuel.
Thank you, gentlemen. I'd like to say, Aaron, you made a very salient point about Ambassador Huckabee with a biblical worldview is a great asset for America and your country. And also, if I get the opportunity to go to Jerusalem, I want to go on your tour, Aaron. Keep up the good work, gentlemen.
Thank you, Samuel. Let's go to Robert, line 2. Robert, now we got a phone line open, folks. 1-800-347-9829. We're rolling through them. Phone lines are opening. 1-800-347-9829. Robert, line 2. Hi, Robert.
Hey, Brennan, how are you? Good show as always. Just wanted to make a fast comment, Brennan. If you'd ever do a show on our sailors over there in 67 that got killed, you know, that false flag event that was thrown where they killed 30 of our sailors, 32, and injured 200, and I've never heard you do a broadcast on that, which takes you just back into the fact that...
Robert, hold on. Let me ask you about that, Robert. Are you talking about Israel firing on our troops?
Yes. Yep. The USS Liberty, I do believe it was back then.
That's it. Thank you. All right, hold right there. Don't go anywhere, Robert. Aaron, will you address that? Aaron?
Well, yeah, that's one of those stories that has kind of gone under the table, conspiracy theories, but a lot of evidence that Israel fired upon American soldiers. Of course, Israel said that it was a mistake, but there's conflicting reports on that. But that still does need to be addressed. I do agree.
Yes, 100%. I agree.
The USS Liberty incident was an attack.
He wasn't one of those sailors. My dad was a sailor back then, so, you know, if he was one of them guys, that would have changed my life a lot.
Yeah. Well, let me read a little bit. Happened on June 8th.
Sailors don't normally lie.
Yeah. Happened on June 8th, 1967, during the Six-Day War. And the combined air and sea attack killed 34 crew members, naval officers, seamen, 2 Marines, and 1 civilian. NSA employee, wounded 171 crew members and severely damaged the ship. At the time, it was in international waters north of the Sinai Peninsula. Now, Robert, did you just say you had a family member on the ship?
No, he was not on the ship, but he was serving on the same time. So I'm just saying, if Pop was on that ship, it would have changed my life. And I'd just love to see you guys interview these guys that were there before they all die on us. It would be a great, podcast for you.
Thank you, Robert. Aaron, what do you think happened that day? What does your government say about it?
Well, I believe the official government statement was that it was a mistake, but I've read under reports by conspiracists saying that it was for political reasons, that America and Israel didn't see eye to eye with everything the way that the war was going, and that perhaps it was an intentional attack. But again, conflicting reports, suspicions, it's like who killed JFK. So, but the motives in it, was it really a genuine mistake, or was it a political decision where we had our backs to the wall and we were in a desperate situation and we weren't getting the help that we were needed? These are some of the questions that are being asked as to perhaps why it could well have been intentionally done. I don't know for sure myself.
Yeah, and by the way, there is a memorial. There's
when it happened. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. You were 12?
I was 2.
2, I think, say 12. You're not that old. Yeah, there's some of them are buried at Arlington National Cemetery. So there we go. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Let's see who we got next. Let's go to, got to get the right screener here. Eric in Pennsylvania, line 1. Hi, Eric.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
I just turned on the radio and I heard something that your guest said that was very, very important. He says the Muslim people live in our community and we love them. We don't agree with their doctrine, we don't follow, which was perfect. But then the comment was made, well, the Bible says this, you don't mix. And what I realize is that Jesus is not exclusive to Christians. You don't have to turn from Allah first before you can follow our Jesus. Our Jesus died for everybody. He wants us to love the Muslim people. And he wants us to love the Paulites. He wants us to love these people because sometimes we operate from the tree of the knowledge of the good and evil. So I'm right, you're wrong, I'm good, you're bad, my doctrine's correct, your doctrine's wrong. We don't always have to be right and we don't always have to be wrong. We're just supposed to love them and just be, right? And let the Holy Spirit dictate on all truth, on all things. And mixing spiritually, yeah, that makes sense. I'm not serving the Hindu gods, but I'm going to love this people that he created in his image. I'm going to look at them. I'm going to care for them.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with any of that, Eric. But we do have a mandate to call out false teachers and false teaching. We're in Acts, beware those men who've risen from within, who draw away the disciples after themselves. Ephesians 5:11 have nothing to do with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose it again and again. So we can be loving. Absolutely. We need to love people. But part of loving people is telling them the truth. And part of loving people is protecting the sheep from the hirelings per John 10. So we cannot become so enamored with love that we redefine what true love is. True love is being concerned about people's eternal soul, not their comfort here and now, and by making them uncomfortable because we dare to bring up their false doctrines. That's not loving at all. Let's go to Stephen, line 2. Steve, I'm not going to get it in there. Stephen from Florida, I wanted to get you in there. Sorry. Aaron is lighttothenationsministry.com. He's in Israel. He'll be back with us tonight on Brand House Live with some great footage from a 2,000-year-old Roman Colosseum. He'll explain it to us tonight on Brandon House Live. Thank you, Aaron. And thank you guys for listening. Thank you for calling in. Pray for America. Pray for President Trump. Pray for all of our elected officials. Pray for Israel. Pray for the folks, the Christians and the Druze and people being hunted, even as we're on the air right now, by ISIS and Al-Qaeda in Syria. Thank you. Take care. And we're back with WROS out of Jacksonville, Florida, and you here on Worldview Tube. Aaron, what is the latest? Have you, since I've been talking, listening to the callers, is there anything new that's come on your radar coming out of Israel, out of Syria even?
No, nothing majorly new right now, Brandon, except the pounding of Syria and Damascus is continuing. Our Air Force are hitting targets, strategic. And I know something I didn't bring up earlier, quite a number of our troops have been called up once again up into the north. Just when you think there's going to be a season of relative peace, a new front breaks out. This is really, I would call it a full-scale war with Syria, with Jolani's army. The thing is, they haven't really fired back at us yet, Brannon. They are after the Druze. They haven't fired at us. That's interesting. But we are taking out military installations, military targets, and we will continue until they back down and leave the Druze alone.
Now, did somebody in your government, Aaron, say that the Syrian leader, Jolani, has to be eliminated? Did someone in your government say that?
I don't recall hearing that, but if someone hasn't already said that, Brennan, they need to say it because he really does. He needs, yeah.
Well, I'm saying it. He needs to be eliminated. So let's pray that God providentially moves and the IDF eliminates this piece of trash.
Well, I would say, Brannon, and let me tell you, he is He's the same breed as Sinwar and Nasrallah. He's from that same pack. But here's the question. Who will step into that vacuum? And this is something that strategically Israel has to take into consideration before they make that kind of decision. Who's going to fill in the shoes? And this is something that...
Well, here's a good question today on social media. Arab Druze getting slaughtered in Syria. Candace Owens, I guess she's got a zipper on her mouth. Candace Owens, David Smith, Jake Shields, Tucker Carlson, Jackson Hinkle, Dan Bilzerian, Pierce Morgan, Mida Hassan, Ilhan Omar, Hassan Piker, Macklemore, Greta Thunberg, Zaran Manandi. Deafening silence. Oh, wait a minute. And Israel is not just defending the Druze. Wait a minute. I'm reading they're defending Christians. So to all these people that talk about how Israel is so bad to the Christians, well, you know what? There's tensions everywhere, folks. Why do we always want to highlight it only in one part of the world? But right now, Israel's defending Christians. Interesting. You don't see Candace Owens and others talking about that now, do you, Aaron?
No, this is a genocide. They're trying to kill the Druze people in Syria. This is a genocide. This is a true genocide. No, absolute silence.
But they're going after Christians too, not just the Druze. I hear they're going after churches. I'm getting a report that they're attacking churches over there.
Brandon, I can tell you there's someone I was on the phone to today from Minnesota, your old stomping ground, a church there in Eden Prairie. They have a missionary in Damascus, and they are very, very concerned for that missionary, a Christian missionary from your neck of the woods, Minnesota. So you're right. That's a first-hand report that they are going after the Christians.
Reports have emerged of Mar Mikhail Church being burned in the village of Al-Sura Al-Kabriya, located in the countryside of Swida, Syria. According to locals, the incident occurred after extremist armed groups took over the village. So,
Brandon, it's what was the news saying? First the Saturday people, then the Sunday people. So this is the nature of these jihadists. And that list of people that you read, not all of them, but a number of them I've been watching over the years, they are Muslims. And they will try to make out that they're peaceful Muslims. But at the end of the day, I believe they're they wouldn't call themselves jihadists, but they're backing the jihadists because it's for the same God, not the God of the Bible, the God of the Quran.
Which we know is Satan at the end of the day. Aaron Lavarco, our reporter on the ground, we're going to be sending him another love offering today, folks. Will you help us with that? WorldviewFoundation.com, WorldviewFoundation.com. Aren't you thankful that Worldview Tube has a reporter on the ground in Israel? Do you benefit from it? If so, please help us support him and keep the broadcast coming. WorldviewFoundation.com. May God save America.
5 years of Worldview books, documentaries, research, high-profile interviews, and the radio and television broadcasts of Brannon House.
Colonel Rob Manus has a lifelong record of providing dedicated service to this nation. Having worked his way up from the enlisted ranks to full colonel,